What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Weird News Wednesdays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the strangest news stories from around the world. We talk about the news that the real news is too afraid to talk about. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how is it going?
I'm actually great, Connor. I told you before the show started, I've been carbo loading, and so I'm full of chicken parm at the minute.
Do you think we're going to do like a marathon halfway through this, or?
I see you've also watched the US Office.
Shaun, how did you survive the blackout, as we'll call it now, of all social media, because they're all owned by the one corporation? That's a good idea.
Do you know what I did, Connor, is I recorded a podcast, and I'll be honest, I wasn't happy with my performance on that day. I feel we had to get men behind the ball, and we didn't. We
were stressed. We were stressed. So we're talking about Movie Mondays, and we recorded midway through the internet exploding, and then nothing worked, and it didn't go very well. But we powered on through, Shaun, and today's a new day.
Today's a new day. For those that don't know, we use like WhatsApp to talk to each other while we record this, so that there's less lag on the microphones. Well. That went well. So there was like about 20 minutes of us both being boomers trying to set up a Zoom meeting between the two of us.
What's the link? Do you have the link?
Do you have the room code?
I hadn't got into Zoom since the last table quiz I did.
And then we swore never to enter it again. But look, the news was interesting. I think we were just a bit fed up with the whole situation at that point. So
yeah,
new day, new us, I suppose, in terms of weird news.
New day, new me, as I always say, Shaun.
Because this is the show, Connor, where you have spent the week gathering all of the weirdest news stories from around the world. About to read them all back to me, a man too full of pasta and aged cheese to look at any weird news.
For some reason, aged cheese sounded like wrong coming out of your mouth there.
I love some aged cheese. Sorry, let me really pronounce it. Hang on. Okay, aged cheese.
Aged cheese. Okay. So, Shaun, as we said, this is weird news. And we are starting this week with a story that's very similar to one that we covered last year. And it's a search party, Shaun. And it's a drunk man who was reported missing helps in the search party for himself.
We did have a story very, very similar to this, whereas someone was in their own search party, but being drunk is a new addition to the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's happened again. I didn't think it would, but it's happened somehow again, because authorities in Turkey have been baffled after a missing person search ended with good news, but with a strange twist. They killed him. No. According to local media, Benyan Mutlu had been drinking with his pals in the rural neighbourhood in the city of Inegal. I'm mispronouncing a lot of words here, Shaun.
Sorry, so this is in Ireland, is it?
Oh, stop. It's in Turkey. Right. They report that the 50-year-old had wandered into the woodlands and never came back, Shaun, which sparked concern amongst his friends, which I think it would.
Yeah, that's a mark of good friends, where they're concerned after you go missing in the woods for hours.
I've seen horror movies. That never goes well.
No, usually it ends up with Chris Hemsworth getting a severed head thrown at him.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Crossing Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's a great one. He's on that motorbike. He's going to save everyone.
Oh, he's definitely going to save everyone. Good movie. Joss Whedon's a bad dude. Let's just get that out of the way.
We're getting that out of the way. Good movie, though. But let's go on.
Excellent cast. You know, Fran Kranz was actually more ripped than Chris Hemsworth during that movie.
But they had to hide it because he was the nerd?
Yeah, he was like the stoner nerd dude, and so that's why he's wearing like baggy hoodies in the fucking July heat of America.
I'd like to see him be more ripped than Chris Hemsworth now. He's on that tour workout boy.
Well, yeah, that tour. This isn't Movie Mondays, Connor. That show's a wash already.
We're vetoing that one.
It's in the past.
His friends raised the alarm with the police, who called in search and rescue teams from the region to help locate the missing man. So, word about his disappearance spread through the neighbourhood, and residents elected to join the search party in the hope that more eyes would find him faster. Makes sense. A very nice thing to do.
More people can look in more places than one person looking in one place. That's what my father taught me. After he sent me into missing.
The woods. You went missing in that too. I said he did. Never mind.
Same joke, it's fine.
He went for cigarettes. He's coming back soon. You're still on the lookout. NTV explained that the search and rescue teams were calling out his name repeatedly until someone in the search party called out, "Who are we looking for? I'm here."
So it's like, we gotta find Jim. And then presumably they might have just been calling out Jim for a while. And then suddenly it turns around to, Jim O'Neill. Famous Turkish man Jim O'Neill.
A very good Turkish name. Jim O'Neill. So this man's name was Bayhan. And so what was happening was they were walking along shouting, "Bayhan, Bayhan, where are you?" kind of thing. He's in the fucking search party. Imagine the moment, right? So he's pissed drunk. Like, he doesn't really understand what's going on. We're all just fucking screaming. Like, he's just going along with the crowd. But there's a moment where even in his drunk brain, it registers. And he's like,
that's mine.
Wait, why are they all shouting my name? I'm here.
Is Bayhan like a common name, I wonder? Because like, imagine trying to look for a John in Ireland. Like, you'd never know. So, like, if Bayhan is the Turkish equivalent of John, but also, if he was piss drunk, do you think there was a part of him that realised they were looking for him and then thought about hiding?
He thought it was a hide and seek.
Maybe, or just like, he was just like, or he realised, like, he figured out the whole situation immediately, like, we're looking for me. But they don't know I'm me. Maybe I should hide and let them discover me. What if I get in trouble? Yeah,
the fear set in while he was drunk. And you don't want that fear setting in.
Oh, the fear. Oh, that old chestnut.
No. How long do you think it took him to call out to say, "I'm here"? Was it on the first call? Or did it register eventually and then he went, "How am I going to tell them?"
I mean, I don't think it was the first call, because the first call in a search party, if you wander into a search party and just decide to help out, you're going to keep calling the name even if it's the same as your own, I think.
The search party, by the way, were out looking for him for 4 hours.
That's a rough, because it's not like if you gave half an hour towards a voluntary search party and then you found him, you'd be like, successful search party. After 4 hours, I think part of you starts to lose hope. And you have to, like, come to terms with that.
And also, that's 4 hours. But also, you had enough time to, like, activate isn't the right word, but, like, activate the town. As in, like, get them up and ready, get their shoes on, get them into the woods.
Yeah, you organised the search party. Like,
so the search party's out for 4 hours. That doesn't just happen like within 20 minutes.
There's prep time. There's prep time to a search party.
They have to go through everything, line up in a line, go through the whole fucking woods.
And like, the police need to brief everyone. At the end of it, like, even when he's found, the police would probably need to be like, okay, and now it's over, and now we can all go home. But there'd be questions. There'd be like, you have to sign your name on some shit. Like, it's a whole ordeal. Not that I've been part of many search parties in my life.
Father's still missing. Cigarettes eventually will be
I know exactly where he is.
He's in the grocery store. I know that.
He lives in Spain and he doesn't like photos being taken of him.
He doesn't even have Facebook or nothing. He's like my girlfriend. So it's not clear how Bayhan wasn't aware his friends had reported him missing, nor do local media explain how his pals didn't recognise their own friend in the search party. There's another thing. They're in the search party. he's also in the search party.
Yeah.
Do you not think, well, he was wearing, I don't know, a grey coat when he left? Jeez, there's a lad over there that looks fairly similar to him wearing that grey coat.
Were they still twisted at the time? Like, do they allow drunks to take part in a search party?
Can you trust them? Can you trust a drunk person to find what you're looking for?
I don't think so, because, like, I've... Not finishing that story, but... I think that you're, like, if you're drunk, you're in more danger of getting lost at that point, and then you have to form a different search party.
There's multiple search parties going on concurrently where they're all finding each other,
and this dude is in both of them.
He's shouting his own name, then he runs across to the other group and he shouts back.
They're looking for him originally, and then fucking Johnny goes missing, so he moves over to Johnny's search party and comes up to one of his friends and being like, "It's okay, we'll find him. We'll find him."
Look, come on, we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
And then, like, the double take, like, what?
Whoa, what?
The important thing to remember, though, is that the 50-year-old man was safe. The police escorted him home and had to write up a report about the bizarre evening in which a man was out looking for himself for 4 hours. At one point, as he joined the search party, they must have just come across him. And they were like, and someone was like, "Here, come on, we're looking for somebody. Come on, join up."
Well, look, many people, Connor, many people will take pilgrimages into the woods to find themselves. But this man...
I wanted to see where you were going, but no, that was a complete sentence, was it?
That was it. Yeah, that was the end of my thought, as it goes.
Yeah. So you didn't. And how many times have you got into a forest to find yourself?
Never. I'm a lost soul. It's part of my charm, you see.
Very good. A wildcat.
And it's working for me, let me say.
I wouldn't say so. Moving on to our next piece of news, Shaun. And this, by the way, was my favourite story of the week. And
so number 2.
You'll understand, because the headline, I think, might be an all-time classic. And it is, "Special Ops Troops hunkered down in California airport hangar after nighttime ninja attack."
What? Special
forces were hunkered down in a California airport hangar after a nighttime ninja attack.
So is this like a credible threat of, like, I don't think ninjas still exist. Do they?
Well, I think this story will work against that theory, Shaun.
I mean, yeah. And if ninjas do exist, their hub is definitely California.
A sword-wielding man dressed as a ninja attacked several special ops soldiers who were training at a California airport, reportedly forcing them to shelter in a hangar and inflicting minor wounds that required minor stitches.
Right. Okay, couple of things. Number 1, someone having a sword and being in a ninja costume does not make someone a ninja.
The sword maketh the man, Shaun.
Second of all, if you Google ninja, and this is like, I've never seen such a visible example of losing track of the past.
Yeah.
First thing when you Google ninja is Twitch TV/ninja.
Yeah, of course.
You also have the ninja air fryer.
Ironically, I don't want to see him, which is helpful. That's
true. And then you scroll down to about the 6th result, and it's the Wikipedia page for, a covert mercenary in feudal Japan. And then right below that it says ninja brackets gamer.
He gets double in the top 6.
He's all over the top 6. It's him and air fryers, man.
Oh man, they're all about that. So, records from the Ridgecrest Police Department seem to confirm some details in the document posted to social media late on Wednesday that said 2 soldiers had to receive stitches before returning to duty, Shaun. So, after confirming that the incident described in the document leaked did occur, US Army Special Operations Aviation Command spokesman Fucking hell. Mad Jeff, how tired do you think he is? Every day.
He has to log into work. It's like, please input your name and title. US
Army Special Operations Aviation Command spokesman Jeff Slinker, which is an all-time great name, Jeff Slinker. Don't throw him down the stairs. Said officials did not have any... Thanks.
Do you think his hair gets tangled very often?
No.
Oh.
A no but. I love a good no but. The soldiers' names were redacted in the post to social media, but one was
identified. They were both called redacted.
Oh, for God's sake! There's an old one, but a good one. One was a sergeant and one was a captain. So this ninja took out a sergeant and a captain with his attack.
Right. Okay. So he's formidable, you would say.
I'm going to read you the post that came out on social media, by the way, because this made me laugh quite a lot. So, between 0100 hours and 0200 hours, on the 25th of September, 2021.
Right.
They don't have... The names are redacted, so I'm just going to say, redacted was sitting outside of the administration building of the hangar at the airfield, smoking a cigarette, when an unknown person wearing full ninja garb, to include a katana sword, walked up to the sergeant. The person wearing the ninja garb stated, "Do you know who I am?"
Oh, there's history here.
The sergeant replied, "No." The unknown person then asked, "Do you know where my family is?"
Oh, but that like, I would say the first question answers the second, though. You know, if he doesn't know him.
I don't know how many years of military training you need to prepare yourself for the moment that you're having a cigarette, that a man in a ninja costume walks up to you and says, "Do you know who I am?" Which implies that you can see his face when you can't. He's wearing a ninja costume. How the fuck would you know who he is?
I imagine like the sergeant like looked at his cigarette for a second and like shook his head and threw it down, swearing never to smoke again.
Never again. How are you expecting that? They're just at the airfield and he's just having a cigarette like on a break. And a man in a ninja costume walks up and is like, "Do you know who I am?" And I love the fact he just...
like, sorry, he's embodying the ninja, like, skill of stealth. Very, very well.
Broke into the airfield.
Broke into an airfield and snuck right up to this man on his break.
What kind of sergeant is he?
God, I don't know. But I have a theory about the ninja, but I need more information before I can be sure of it.
I mean, I think the first question is a completely out there question of, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah.
So he's full ninja. That's going to set you on the back foot straight away. Like, the sergeant doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But then to get hit with, "Do you know where my family is?" That has a whole other level of, man, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, it gives you a whole lot of gaps to fill in, like, in the moment.
Did I kidnap his family?
Yeah. Like, are his family in trouble? Or did they leave him? Like,
maybe they did. No, he left them.
Questions.
They never even noticed them going.
This is the way of the samurai, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you
that's
forgo your family and you become married to the blade.
The sergeant again stated, by the way, to the question of, "Do you know where my family is?" The only logical way you could. No.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, honesty. A ninja can sense lies.
At this point, the person in the ninja garb went into fight stance and began to slash at the sergeant, striking his phone and his knee and his leg, Shaun.
So he targeted the phone so he couldn't call for help. Then
Smart.
The knee so he couldn't run away.
Yeah.
And then the leg just to make doubly sure he couldn't run away. Or unless it was like left knee, it's a downward slash, if you can imagine, front of the blade, and left knee straight into the calf of the right leg.
Oh, you don't want that.
He's cutting him clean in half, man. It's wild. As a man with a bad knee, I feel for him.
Yeah. I like how he struck the phone first. That's a modern ninja. That's a ninja that knows 21st century technology.
A ninja moves with the times.
Of course.
What if this is a ninja transported from the past? And he's had 6 months now of being accustomed to the modern way of living.
But he still doesn't know where his family is.
No, because they're long dead. Connor.
And he doesn't know who he is. He can't remember.
It's like Jackie Chan's Who Am I?
It's the same plot.
But it's called Jackie Chan's Who Am I? And he knows. He's in the title.
The sergeant did the only thing you would logically do at this moment. So far the sergeant has acted completely as we all would. No. Oh shit, he's got a sword. Then he gets slashed. The sergeant immediately began running through the parking lot, trying to evade the unknown person. Makes sense.
Fair. Absolutely fair. It's the course of action I would take myself, quite honestly. So I'm glad to know I have Special Forces training built into me.
The sergeant jumped the fence and entered the admin building. The sergeant and the captain began locking all the doors and calling 911. The person in ninja garb was kicking and punching doors and windows, trying to get in, repeatedly shouting, "Do you know where my family is? Do you know who I am?"
That sounds terrifying. I think at this very harrowing moment in the story for the two military personnel involved, I'd like to bring up my theory about the ninja.
Oh, go on.
So I don't think it says it in the report, but I believe that ninja was described as being cool but rude. And so, what family could he be looking for? Quite possibly.
His brother's good with machines.
And should they all reunite? Who best to organise the celebrations but Michelangelo, the party dude?
The party dude. But the problem here is that he doesn't have a leader. And maybe that's why he's acted out here.
That's true. He doesn't have good old Leonardo to keep him in line, Connor.
Oh, shit. Are we saying that this is Raphael?
Look, what city did this take place in again?
Not New York.
Interesting. Well, his family's in New York.
He's lost. Raphael is lost.
Raphael is Home Alone 3 lost in California.
And if we've ever seen any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles property, when they go to the surface, they put on an outfit to cover themselves. What outfit completely covers your head to toe? Ninja outfit.
Ninja.
Oh, damn.
Trench coat. Oh, no, shit.
No, he doesn't have a trench coat.
No, ninja outfit. And it's nighttime, so you wouldn't see the big turtle shell on his back.
The unknown person left and returned a few minutes later, so he's breaking all the doors and windows with kicks and punches and his sword. He's already sliced up a phone. He's asked him several times, "Do you know who I am? Do you know where my family is?" The captain and the sergeant of this special ops team, they haven't trained for this.
No.
They've killed hundreds of men, but even they're like, "Nah, mate, I'm out.
I'm not dealing with this fuck."
The unknown ninja eventually left, but then he came back, Shaun, and he threw what is classically a ninja weapon, a large rock, through the window.
I mean, what is a... Okay, let's think about this. What if he's trying to be non-lethal at this point?
Well, the rock actually hits the captain, so that's why he needs stitches.
Oh, right. So it's almost as if it was aimed at the captain.
Almost as if it was aimed through a window at the captain, yeah.
Wouldn't it be mad if someone listening to this podcast was on the jury for this ninja, but because they listened to this podcast, they weren't allowed to take part in the courtroom proceedings because we've just influenced their opinion?
But how have we influenced it? All we've said is that he's cool but rude.
I said, Your Honour, I cannot willingly send a ninja turtle to death row.
And Everyone's just like, he's not a turtle. Your Honour, I call to the stand Splinter, Master.
And now I'd like to call my surprise witness, April O'Neil.
Journalist. Everyone's like, there's no journalist called April O'Neil.
That's a cartoon character.
See, that's exactly what the Shredder wants you to think. Maybe the Captain Shredder.
Maybe the Captain Shredder, and maybe these two soldiers.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Bebop and Rocksteady in disguise. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now, we could also just say this is a lunatic who dressed up as a ninja and attacked an airfield full of special ops soldiers.
Sounds like the words of Krang to me.
He's at home, by the way. Now, to go off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles idea, or angle, maybe a different angle. This guy is just a lunatic who was at home and was like, well, I'm going to attack the airfield. I need to get battle ready. I need the right uniform if I'm going to go in there and sort them out, because I don't know where my family is. I don't know who I am, but I need to find out.
Yeah. I mean, he presumably, like, he came from the family home, presumably. So, like, they might have left a note. Just in terms of, like, making it rational in the world.
Do you want to know how many special ops military members were stuck in that room or in the building that they were all locking the door behind them?
3.
26 special op military members doing training at the airport.
Would you not? Are they, like, even presuming they're all, like, recruits, and this is, like, week 1 of training, there's a sergeant and a captain. Like, you could presumably wave enough guns at the man that he'd run away.
Maybe he locked them in the one place that had no guns.
But I'd imagine there's some level of weaponry on you. Surely.
Right.
But what if, and here's what I'd do, but I'm a bit of a hero myself, is I would challenge the samurai to some kind of duel.
Oh, go on.
His honour will not let him refuse.
Yeah.
While I'm fighting the samurai then, holding my own, I would...
Sorry, say that sentence again?
I keep saying samurai, I mean to say ninja. Fighting...
Sorry, you said holding your own?
Holding my own.
How many times have you practiced? You've seen enough Star Wars. You kind of get the gist.
I'm making the noises with my mouth, correct.
Of course.
And so all of my comrades escape. They run past. And then I teleport behind him and say, nothing personal, kid. And then snap his neck. In one swift move, so as not to cause pain.
I like the nothing personal, kid. You want to have a final line before the death.
I want him to know, like, I just want my brothers to get out there.
I'll be honest with you. If this was a movie, he would be the hero turning up, and the special ops wouldn't go get a gun. They'd all go get, like, swords, and it'd be a 26v1 fight scene with him in the middle of the airfield.
And he's just batting them away. He's just, like, flipping and shit. It's like old Luke Skywalker. Like, he stays perfectly still. And he just dodges all around and makes them all stab each other to death. And then I come in and I teleport behind him.
Just really quickly, where do you do where did you develop these teleportation powers?
See, it's actually have you seen The Prestige?
Yes.
It's that kind of situation. So I have an identical double that we share a life. And so in this attack, he's also waiting in the wings.
Somehow this plot got more convoluted the longer you tried to explain the plot.
See, as the instigator of the duel, I got to pick the location, and I chose the big trapdoor that was disguised. And so we're dueling. I throw a smoke bomb. Trapdoor activates, and then the big crane winch pulls the double up.
I'll be honest with you, it makes me laugh that you think a smoke bomb is going to fool this ninja. It's a fully trained ninja you're fighting.
His eyes are accustomed to the sewers, though.
I've seen Batman Begins. These lads are trained for this kind of situation.
Oh, it's a different kind of smoke bomb, though.
All right, different kind of ninja because he's a turtle.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's what's a natural predator of a turtle? Actually,
hair.
Hair? What?
Yeah, the turtle and the hair.
Oh, right. Well, it was a tortoise and a hare, but whatever.
Close enough. It was pretty close, though.
Wow,
you
Connor.
just said you were going to teleport.
Okay. Wow, it's close enough. Okay.
So racist, the turtles.
Fucking speciesist over here.
We're going to move on to a different kind of
now
species.
we move on.
We have to move on before you start bringing up nothing personal, kid, again. A Korean man is being inundated with over 4,000 calls a day.
I saw this.
After his phone number was used in the Netflix hit show Squid Game, Shaun.
Have you watched Squid Game?
I have seen Squid Game, yes.
Isn't it class?
Isn't it class?
And first thing I thought after watching that show, God, I must give that number a ring.
Yeah. But it's a poor Korean man who gets 4,000 calls a day, which I don't know what the number is like on that. But, I mean, also, it got ruined, though, because a presidential candidate in South Korea offered to buy the number off the man for $85,000.
That's what I was going to say. You could auction that off and someone will just use it. And I was thinking like they'd set up a business. Like, and it was just like, buy mattresses here. But presidential candidate totally makes sense. But do you want to be associated with that?
Squid Game?
Not even the show, this very successful Netflix show, Squid Game. But
could you explain Squid Game, by the way, to anyone who hasn't seen it?
So Squid Game is basically
Hunger Games?
Not kind of like Hunger. It's voluntary Hunger Games for people who are severely in debt. That's pretty much it. There's also a very good anime called Kaiji Ultimate Survivor, which is it's gambling to get out of your problems, but gambling for the enjoyment of other people, shall we say. But it's quite... The whole story kicks off, basically, you ring this number that's on a business card and you have the chance to sort out all of the problems in your life through a shady corporation. Now, as a presidential candidate, would you want to be associated with that corporation in any way?
Because that corporation in the show, and I don't know if this isn't a spoiler, they're not great, Shaun. They are not great.
They're not great. It's the old adage of it's too good to be true, I would say.
Yeah, the idea is that you get like 200 people. Actually, there's 456 people.
Yes.
And they bring them all in. They're all in debt. And for every single game that there's 6 games. And for every game that you survive, more money gets added to the pot. And eventually it gets up to like $38 million.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like 400 billion won or something. I don't know what.
It's 45.6 billion won is the big total.
Yeah, and so that it translates to $38 million. And so the idea is that if you can survive, then the $38 million gets spread amongst all the people that are still alive at the end. Because the games are very childish. It's red light, green light.
You would say it's easy. They're easy games. Simple.
Easy peasy. The problem is that if you get them wrong, or you do something wrong, say red light, green light, it says green light, you go. Yeah. It says red light, you stop, but you maybe fall a little bit, or like just stumble slightly.
You move.
You get shot in the head.
You break the rules. You're eliminated from the game.
Yes, and by eliminated, you're eliminated from life.
You're eliminated from all games going forward.
Yeah. And so they're in the show, you have to call a number to get involved with the game. And this poor man has the same number. And so he is being inundated with the most popular show on Netflix. The phone number is being rang constantly throughout the day. How many minutes are in a day? So 4,000 phone calls a day.
But there's probably a lot more calls being made. It's just it can't get True, because another call is coming in.
It's constantly going all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, at what stage, if you've had that number forever, do you just give up?
I used to have a track record. I used to just burn my phone number every time I got a new phone. Like, I used to. I don't do it anymore because, like, it's more of a hassle now. But when I was like 12 and knew about 16 people, it didn't matter to me. I just get a new, because this was the time when SIM cards used to be massive and they'd shrink every couple of years. So I used to just get new SIMs and just throw them in. To answer your question, there is 1,440 minutes in a day.
Right. So that's 3 calls a minute.
Pretty much, yeah.
So every 20
turn
seconds.
My phone off.
Every 20 seconds he gets a call. Now he says he's had that number for 10 years and it was linked with his business.
Oh poor.
No.
Okay, what if you divert all of your calls to the local police station?
Because then you're a snitch, though. You don't want to be a snitch.
That's very true. Okay, what if you divert all your calls to a different phone and leave that phone on silent?
Interesting. You're not just really solving the problem, just moving it to a different phone.
Then you gift that phone to someone. Then you gift that phone to the director of Squid Game. Would they not have checked the number in production?
Makes sense. You would have just picked a random fucking series of numbers.
Yeah, because like, a lot of the time, if someone's making a TV show or a movie and they mention a website, they will buy that website just so that they can like redirect it to the production company or whatever like that. But to not check the phone number of... Now look, they didn't know it was going to be as successful as it was, is the thing. So I kind of get it, but also like, when we were in college, we had to make short films and shit, and we were made to check the number on those.
No, I never did. I just always put in 911.
Thanks for that, bud.
Yeah, put your number. Don't worry, nobody's seen them. It's fine.
But the next group of first years got shown.
Oh yeah. Oh boys, they were like, don't do this. Whatever the fuck you do.
See this, they fucked up. Alright. Fucked up.
I think the news is that the director or the show itself is trying to buy this new number off the man. So, I mean, that just makes the most sense. He could probably make like $100,000 out of this if he wanted.
An extortionate amount of money. I feel good for that director though, because he was apparently working on that for years and years and years, and no one would buy it off him.
Yeah.
And then it's the most popular thing Netflix has ever put out.
It's pretty good. Did you watch it subtitled or dubbed?
Subtitled. Yes.
Apparently both are bad.
There's 2 subtitle tracks. So one is like the direct translation of the English dub, and one is an English subtitling of the Korean dialogue. And I watched the one that's the English subtitling of the Korean dialogue. I liked it. I don't feel I had a lesser experience because of that.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is that I can't read and also can't hear and also can't concentrate. So I just had someone else watch it and scream the plot to me. Sounds good.
Right. Doesn't now. Fair enough. God, you were fairly intimate with all the details there for someone who had the plot screamed at him. It's credit to you,
I really tried to keep up. I really want to know all the ins and outs of it all.
I want to be hot on the pulse of any
of
media.
What's good.
What's good in the world these days?
I always walk in and finger point and just like, what's good, everybody? What's going on? And then everyone has to give me the hot scoops, Shaun. Every time I walk
Black
into a
Sails that finished in 2017. Really good show.
No, it's too late. 2017, ages ago. I'm way past it, Shaun. I'm on the next hot scoop. Waiting.
Okay. Then there's a show called Young Justice. Well, it's quite an old show, actually.
No, that's shit. I'm moving on. We're moving on to our next piece of news, and this is an artist loaned $84,000 by museum, returns 2 completely blank canvases.
Do you know, I saw this as well. And I was like, Connor's going to bring this up. And I formulated a thought on this story.
Oh, go on.
This dude's a dickhead.
fuck. That is a strong stance. How so, Shaun?
Because his rationale was that it was kind of a protest thing about how artists are underpaid, but he was given 84,000 quid.
That's probably overpaid, to be honest.
That's a couple of years' salaries for a lot of people, you know? It's just an arsehole move for no reason. But the museum, I feel, because the museum put it on display after. They put the empty canvases on display, but apparently they're still going to sue him for the money.
But then they're having their cake and eating it too, so are they both in the wrong?
That's it. They're benefiting from the publicity gained from him doing this.
Yeah.
And arguably, this has gotten him more recognition than presenting two masterful paintings would have done.
But will anyone ever pay him again?
That's the thing. And now is he just going to be known for these weird stunts that he pulls? I would do, like, if someone gave me 84,000 for one fucking job, I would do the job that they thought I was going to do.
That's your problem, Shaun. You're not about the big bucks. You got to hold out for 100 grand. I ain't doing nothing for 8 grand. I'm not getting out of bed.
And I'm all about, like, paying creatives and, like, paying... But this dude was getting paid by a museum who, like, to be fair, like, they don't have infinite funds either. They're a lot of the time subsidised by the government, who have their eye on different things.
Right.
It's no podcasting, that's all I'll say.
I'll tell you something. This is the strongest I've ever heard you feel about something.
This is what I get when I get a week to think of something, like to have an opinion on something, and not just, oh well, fucking this is a mad story.
Well, Jesus, she was drinking bear piss, and there was a forest fire.
Oh, I think I peaked at bear piss. To be fair,
I think that we all tipped our cap to bear piss.
Oh no, a cap full of piss.
The Danish artist was loaned $84,000 by a museum to incorporate into recreations of two of his pieces, turned into a pair of blank canvases, and said that they were a new artwork entitled Take the Money and Run. That's what he called the artwork, Shaun. Jens Hanning was given the cash alongside a further €6,000 in banknotes, if required, to recreate his previous works. This was also on top of the 2.5 or 3 grand that he was paid for the work as an artist's fee.
Okay, and look, and the world of art and, like, creativity and expressing yourself, all great, but, like, that's an absolute breach of a contract, is what he's just done.
I mean, he says it's a new piece of artwork, though, Shaun.
But he was hired to recreate two of his paintings that he's already done.
Yeah, and that's a new recreation. He has a new idea for them.
I'd like to look up the definition of recreation.
Fun.
Like, and he had fun. Oh, didn't we all have fun with this story? Like, but and look, I haven't read anything. I haven't read his response or anything like that. But I know he's smug about it, and that winds me up.
Oh yeah. I mean, he says the idea behind was to show how salaries can be used to measure the value of work and to show national differences within the European Union. But by changing the title of the work to Take the Money and Run, Hanning questions artists' rights and their working conditions in order to establish more equitable norms within the art industry, Shaun.
That's all well and good, but you can't keep that 84 grand then.
Yeah, you have to give it back.
You have to get, like, because that's just thievery, like, at that point. And he'd have more of a solid ground to stand on if the museum hadn't hung it up. Like, I feel that's fucking ridiculous.
His last line is, the work is that I have taken their money. It's not theft, it is breach of contract, and breach of contract is part of the work. Oh shit!
No, you can't just write something.
Shaun.
No, you can't say, "Oh, murder is a part of my art form." It's still illegal.
David Blaine's been getting
the Zodiac Killer wrote lovely poems.
You are very emotionally into this, Shaun. How do you feel? Really, tell us.
It's just such an arseholey move because, like, if he's protesting salaries, like, why not just, like, a better protest would have been to outsource that work to 20 other artists and, like, pay them from the 84 grand theatre.
Yeah.
That would do more to help those artists and get them more exposure than just giving them an empty canvas, man. Like,
I think that's art, Shaun. I get it. You probably just don't get it. That's the thing.
It's not art, it's a stunt.
No, I get it. No, you don't get it, because you're not with the kids. I'm going, what's hip and happening? I always walk in and say that. You know that about me. This is hip and happening.
But you can't just breach a contract for art. Like, you can't just break the law. No.
What about for the crack, though?
Like, how would you feel if if we had arranged to do this show, and we had said, like, you know, we'll watch this movie. This isn't a good example, actually.
Go for it.
We watched this movie in advance, and then one of us turned up and hadn't watched the movie.
I'd be heartbroken. But I'll also forgive you, because I think it'd be a laugh, be a crack.
But, like, I don't think that does not show any talent on the artist. It just shows brazenness, I suppose. It's like, do you know the memes? What a boomer sentence for Shaun to start.
Here we go.
Do you know
Shaun,
the memes?
I think you are a boomer.
I'm definitely a boomer. I don't know how anything works anymore.
Yeah.
I told you I deleted TikTok because it scared me.
It's a very scary place.
Now, YouTube Shorts I can get behind, but
that's weird too. Get out of my feed, YouTube Shorts.
I don't like it. It's addictive.
Nobody's ever gone through them. I would never do it. But I'm a lunatic though. You know, Instagram, it has all those stories. I never clicked into one story. I don't care about everybody else.
I don't want to know what's going on in your life. I want the main features of the feed. But
my laptop's going to die, Shaun.
Oh no, I'll never finish my thought. Now, last time you plugged in your laptop, your camera died. So let's see what happens.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, is it in?
We appear to still be okay. Oh no, I didn't plug it in the far end.
Oh,
Technical difficulty, Shaun.
It's not in at the wall. It's not in at the wall. Okay, fine. Work away. You do your thing there. So, listeners, what I was saying is that someone just showing up with two empty canvases, it doesn't show off their skill as an artist. And it's like the memes where the kid is like, give an example of a risk. And the kid just writes this. And it's like, oh, top marks. But those memes are fake. And so
I've come back to boomer talk with Shaun.
It's my new segment on this show.
You're going to start telling everyone how you were so sad last night, or the night before, sorry, when Facebook died. Oh man, I had so many minions. So many minions.
I think I might, but I think we might be we might as well be boomers to, like, what are they called? Fucking Zoomers now or something? Oh, the camera's gone!
My camera just went off! That is so weird!
Why does it always happen when you plug things in? We'll power through, it's fine, but I'll just look at that Google profile picture you have and we'll be rocking.
It's a good one.
One of the best.
Shaun, look, here's the thing. I have no idea what's going on, but we need to move on to our next story, because Florida woman has struck. And it's only a small story, but it really caught my eye, because I have shirtless Florida woman tries to rob stores with body spray. Oh,
so you're saying here, this is a joke for our North American listeners. Was she an axe murderer, Connor?
No. No.
Get it?
No, I get it. I get the links between that joke and the product.
Very good.
Investigators say a shirtless woman armed with body spray tried to rob 2 stores in Florida. She did not succeed. So 53-year-old Laurie Oakes was arrested last week, or on Monday. Deputies said Oakes drove up to a McDonald's drive-thru in Bonita Springs, pulled out a
place
bottle
to
of
rob.
body spray perfume and tried to rob the place, stating, "I'm going to set fire to everything. Give me all the money you have," to the worker in the drive-through window.
Right. So it's like a body spray and a lighter to give a flamethrower kind of effect.
No, sorry. The lighter's never mentioned. She just has body spray.
And she assumes she'll pick up a spark from somewhere.
Just between them. The boy working in the window and her.
Do you know what this is? Okay, here's a story. So, we were at PE once, and we were in the changing rooms beside the field, and one of the lads in the class sprayed a woolen glove with like Lynx body spray, and then set it on fire while he was wearing it. And
yeah, smart.
It's smart, but I was like, the glove would have gone up anyway, surely, because it was made of wool. So I don't think the Lynx added anything other than to freshen the room.
I've got this big piece of wood. I've sprayed it with Lynx, lads. Wait till you see this.
Wait till I put this Lynx over this can of petrol. It's going to go up.
Oh, fucking hell, lads. It's the Lynx. So she says, "I'm going to set fire to this whole place. Not a lighter in sight, Shaun, but she's got the body spray, so she's halfway there."
It's an older car. Connor, and she had pushed in the little thing to light cigarettes. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
No.
So, I don't know if you could set a flamethrower to that.
Ah, have you ever touched one of those?
Yes, everyone has.
It's
and
hot,
never again.
Connor. It can light paper, so it can surely light aerosol.
Yeah, but how are you going to... I think you need an open flame to like spray the aerosol for it to go as a flamethrower.
No, see, I think the aerosol catches fire and then that propels the rest of the aerosol into flame.
That's not how it works.
You can see me, but I can't see you, so I don't know if any of this is landing.
I can tell you, I can see you, it's not.
All right. Oh, you can see that I don't believe in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. The worker closed the drive-through window.
Shields activate.
Is there a bigger hit to the confidence when you're like, you drive up to the window, "I'm going to set fire to this whole thing, give me all the fucking money you have," and just slowly, this probably 16-year-old just closes the window on you.
Like, I was going to say, like, it wasn't enough to deter her, apparently, because this is only the first aerosol robbery that this woman commits.
Well, she left without any cash. So
and
she had been filed by a window. She with no chicken nuggies either or any Happy Meals. So she had left, and she was in a bad way, Shaun. It was no success on the first go, but that did not mean that she had to give up. Because if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Because 15 minutes later, deputies said Florida woman Oaks tried to rob a nearby Circle K gas station, shirtless and armed with the same bottle of body spray perfume. Again, she walked up to the counter and said, "I'm going to rob this whole place," waving around the bottle of body spray, to which the guy at the counter told her to leave.
Please, just get out of here. We don't want to deal with this today. Now, I feel it's more of a threat in a Circle K, because you could grab one of the cigarette lighters that they sell at the till.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then you have a full-on weapon. Or
you could... This is a very strange question, and I'm sure you probably know it, Shaun. Body spray, and you go outside to the petrol tanks, or the diesel tanks, you spray that. Is there anything happening or nothing? You need an open flame there for any sort of chemical reaction.
You do need a flame, I believe. Now, what are those tanks made of but metal? So if you could get, say, a piece of flint, right, and start striking that off one of the petrol tanks.
Yeah.
Have that catch, light all the petrol on the ground on fire. Then you get the aerosol, spray it at that, and now you've got mobile fire. And you just go up, and I would target the microwave popcorn myself, just for the comedy value of things.
I think what we're forgetting here is that this is Florida woman. So there was no planning involved. She had been filed 15 minutes before. She had no time to rethink the strategy. The strategy was set. She had a can of body spray and she had big dreams. And that's all she felt she needed.
That's true. And like, I would wager that had the original robbery, had there been fire involved, that absolutely ends with Florida woman's car burning down.
Yes.
And like the McDonald's being fine.
Shaun, I have one final Florida man story, and I have to get to this because we're kind of running out of time, but also I didn't get to this last week because we were talking about bear piss. And so...
Right. Well, look, that's no one's fault.
I've brought it back this week because I think this is the Florida man story for, I'd say, probably the month of October. And that is Florida man accused of trying to trade car to dealer he stole it from the previous day.
I mean, confidence will get you anywhere, but that's taking the piss a little bit.
A man walks into a car dealership wishing to trade the vehicle he drove up in for a new one. Happens all the time, right? Good article. But when the man is a Florida man, things get more interesting. According to the news, Shaun, and some other Florida outlets, police in Jacksonville responded to Lake City Chrysler Dodge Jeep, where the scene above played out, as it does every day. But this time, it was different. Shaun, that's a lot of words. When the dealership's sales staff logged the VIN on the man's trade-in, they discovered that the car had been stolen from that very dealership just days prior. He didn't even change anything on the...
So it's like fresh in their memory.
It was that same week. So say this was a Thursday. The car had been stolen on the Monday, and then he drove it back, trying to trade it in for a different car.
But what was wrong with the car he had? Because he had stolen a pretty good car by all accounts.
Well, here's the thing. He wanted a new car, Shaun. And so he'd stolen this car, but just to get on the property ladder. Now he's wheeling and dealing his way up the ladders. Because he wants a cooler car.
But you'll get less for a trade-in, though. If you want a better car from a trade-in, you'll have to contribute some money yourself.
Right, but what if he had money with him? It's not said, but maybe he brings this car, he gets 20 grand back. Then he only needs to spend 5 grand to get a better car, whereas he stole this one from zero. He's already in profit, if anything he gets.
I don't think, but I don't think he's getting 20 grand though on the trade-in, is he?
I mean, it's only days old.
It's true, fresh off the lot.
It's fresh off the lot, lads.
It's like, no, I only live 5 minutes. Because surely they could see like the gauge on it, be like, oh, this car has driven 2 kilometres since we last saw it. The camera's back!
Yes!
Just in time.
Hi, Shaun.
Hi, Connor. It's good to see you. Like, surely it would show, like, the car had driven 2 kilometres or so since it had been stolen.
Yeah. But, like, how was he to know it had been stolen? Because Florida Man's story was that he didn't know that the car was stolen. He had been given it by his friend the day before, but then subsequently decided he wanted to trade it in that day. Just randomly, off the top of his head.
It's an iron-tight argument. I'm sure he came up with himself. The thing about it is, like, why would you trade it? Like, that's looking a gift horse in the mouth, is trading in a free car.
If you've stolen the free car, well, it's not free, you've stolen it. But if you've got a stolen car that you've stolen from the lot, surely you drive it to a different lot. And then when they check the number and they go, oh, this was meant to be in this car dealership, oh, they probably just didn't update the system. I bought it a few days ago.
Surely you sell it online.
Yes,
like,
with no paper trail.
Yeah, you go on like a local car selling website, and what you do is you don't put in the exact details, because the police are going to be looking for the exact details on any car sale websites. So you put it, like, say it's a Ford Focus, you call it a Ford Fiesta.
I feel like you've done this before.
No, I'm just incredibly smart.
Are you? Why are you going to start showing it?
I know. Oh, any day now. I'm due for one.
Due for a good idea. I think my favourite... Go on.
No, I was going to say I've had multiple dreams where I've committed crimes. And
no way.
Yeah, and and I don't dream, so anytime these happens, I'm like fully convinced, like, oh no, this is happening. And in the dreams, there's always someone gets dragged into it, be it like you or like my girlfriend or my brother. And the main thing I'm worried about is, they're going to be really mad at me for getting them dragged into this crime.
Someone needs to message us in about who's a dream expert.
Can someone analyse my dreams and just tell me how fucked my brain is?
You're not stressed about the crime. You're stressed about how it's going to affect those around you.
I think so, yeah, because I'm like, the crime has happened in my mind.
You've already committed the murder.
Well, who's to say who committed the murder? Like, it has gotten to that, but like, I have dreamt that I have committed a murder and other people have gotten dragged into it.
I mean, I think you need to start seeing so.
Maybe
if you're dreaming that you're murdering people all the time, I think that's a bad luck.
It's not on the regular. It's just every year or so this dream crops up.
Oh, every year. Okay,
every year on the regular. Yeah. As if remembering something.
I don't dream. I'm the opposite of Martin Luther King. I just don't dream.
I don't have a dream. Well,
I don't have a dream. Literally, I do not.
I mean, if you could tell turtles and tortoises apart, that would be a pretty good start.
All my dreams already came true, Shaun. You know what I mean?
Oh, because of this podcast, of course.
I never said that. That's actually...
No, it was all inferred. It was all inferred in your tone of voice and the look you gave.
The best compliments are those that are inferred. My camera's off again, Shaun.
No, I've done a crude sketch and it's stuck on the front of my laptop. And it's you saying, thank you, good job.
Good job, Shaun. Well done. Shaun, I think that's it for this week's Weird News.
I think that might be it. Sorry I dragged it off the rails at the end there, but...
That's absolutely fine.
It's a good week. I feel that makes up for Monday and then some.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, fair enough. So, good job. Connor.
Good job, Shaun.
Would you like me to take us out?
Yes, please.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Weird News Wednesday. We will be back on Friday with Hero or Zero, Monday with Movie Mondays, and next Wednesday with one more episode of Weird News Wednesday. Big thank you to everyone who supports us over on Patreon. Oh, you're giving me a look.
You said one more. Is this the last one?
No, there's just one more.
Oh, you said it in a way that's like, oh, this is the last one. Like, this is the finale.
No, but like I have one more week until the next Weird News. Then
not as gripping.
Thank you for tuning into the finale of Weird News.
Oh no.
Big thanks to the patrons. Waffles, you're grand, but with the following students, please see the principal after school. That's a genius name, by the way.
Yes.
Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, Ed Ball, Joe Burney, Róisín, Schrödóisìn, Hally, Ryan Right Time Evanson, Shaun, Heroes Don't Do That Jamieson, Dominic, Jessiah, Florida Gal Green, Anna, Team Irish Walrus Hjelmroos, Lil Dicky, on the day the boys were asked to sing, the one sang with a great rock voice while the other rambled as if he was stoned. Danny McLaughlin, Ray, I Can't Believe Wanda Did This, and Sammy DeLucia. Thanks everyone for the continued support, we do appreciate it. Hope you all enjoyed the Mighty Ducks review that we did over on Patreon. It was a good laugh about a film we had different experiences with growing up as children.
An absolute classic.
It's an absolute movie. And so if anyone wants to listen to that, that's available there. $5 or more a month, you get access to that. We'd also appreciate whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Do give us a like and a share and a review and whatever else you can do on those. That's always a big help. Twitter is @Heroes for Hire Pod, 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's Discussion Group or Heroes for Hire Podcast. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. But the best way you can ever help out the show is by telling one human being that we exist.
Just the one.
Please. And please. I think that's about it, Connor.
So I've been Ciara Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.